Hi everyone and welcome to this online workshop. My name is Roman and together we will learn how we can harvest the power of the sun and turn it into electricity. To do that, we will dismantle a solar lamp and discover the whole solar technology that's inside, and I will teach you about all of the components. If you haven't seen a little sun before, this is how it looks like. On this side, you have the solar panel. It catches the energy of the sun so that you can have light at night. If you have a little sun, you can do this workshop with me. But don't worry if you don't have any. You can just follow my steps and I will teach you everything you have to know about the components inside. To proceed this workshop, this is what you're going to need. A little sun solar lamp, a screwdriver, and a bit of elbow grease. Let's start dismantling the lamp. For that, nothing easier. On the back side, you have 4 holes. In each hole, there is a little screw. Just put the little sun in front of you, take the screwdriver, put it into the hole, find a tipping point, and then when you found it, just turn the screwdriver counterclockwise. Now that you feel that the screws are getting a bit loose, you can start pulling out gently every component of the lamp and put them in front of you. This is most probably the component you would recognize at first. This one. You may know this from your remote controller, for example. This is the battery. The battery is there in the solar lamp to store the energy that you captured during the day. This black thing is a solar panel. The solar panel is composed of 8 solar cells, like this. They capture the energy of the sun, which is then converted into electricity into this little circuit. And then the energy comes out of those 2 metal dots. Afterwards, the electricity goes through those 2 metal strings into the PCB. The PCB is a printed circuit board. It actually works like a mini computer. It decides where the energy goes and which intensity the light can be. Because on this little sun lamp, you actually have a dimmer, so you can decide how strong you want your light to be. There is also an LED, and it's actually where the light comes from when you turn on your little sun. And finally, you can also see this yellow case. It is made out of plastic and it allows the lamp to be durable and long-lasting. So even if you drop it on the floor, it won't break, and it's also super resistant against heat or rain, for example. So now we're going to make 2 experiments. The first one will be to leave out the battery, reassemble the lamp together, and we will see what happens when you put the lamp outside in the sun. The second experiment will be to put back the battery inside and see what happens when you turn on the light. So for the second experiment, please make sure you are with an adult because it is very, very important to put the battery in the right side, okay? So on the battery, it's written plus and minus. And inside of the lamp, there is a plus and a minus. So please make sure you put the plus and the plus together as well as the minus and the minus together so that it doesn't create a short circuit. A short circuit happens when the electricity doesn't go the right way, and it actually means that your lamp won't work. Let's start with the first experiment. You will take the solar panel and this case. first put the case here. Make sure those 2 metal strings come out and connect them to those 2 metal dots that are on the solar panel. And now we're going to see what happens when you put the lamp in the light. Follow me. Okay, so now we have our little sun lamp, so with just the solar panel but without battery. And this experiment consists of putting the solar panel facing the sun directly and pushing the button. And you see, now you can get light. And even if it's cloudy or if you try it from your window, you will still get light. It will just change the intensity of it. So what can we keep from this experiment? That even if you have no battery inside a solar lamp, it still works actually. The solar cells capture the energy of the sun if there is enough sunlight. The electricity goes from those 2 dots into the PCB and then into the LED and produces light. So this is why batteries are really important to store the energy during the day and being able to produce light at night. So let's proceed to the second experiment, which is putting back the batteries inside of the solar lamp and then see what happens when we turn on the light. As I said earlier, make sure to connect the plus and the plus together and the minus together. You put back the battery inside, and then here you have this little button you can turn on, and it actually produces light. But what do you think happens when the battery is empty? When the battery is empty, you won't be able to produce light anymore. And this is why all of these components are interconnected and so crucial so that a solar lamp can function properly. And that's it. Now you know everything about the components inside the solar lamp and about solar technology. Now you can actually reassemble your lamp, and it's fairly easy. So you already have the batteries inside. What you have to do is put back this case, making sure the 2 strings come out so that you can connect them to those 2 metal dots. And then you have to find the right direction for this case, which is like this. And now you can just take your screwdriver and do the same as previously, but this time find the tipping point and just go clockwise. Et voila! Now it's reassembled. Just make sure you connected everything properly by pushing the button, and that's it. So, let's sum up this workshop. Basically, the sun releases photons. These are light particles that take 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach Earth. Afterwards, such solar cells are able to capture these light particles, convert them into electricity, so that you can have a clean light at night. In rural areas of Africa, mostly the families use kerosene lamps as a lighting source. So basically, they burn kerosene, which then releases smoke, which is really bad for the lungs, but also for the environment, because it releases CO2 emissions. And this is why such portable lamps, which give a really clean and reliable source of light, are very important for each of us on this earth. In your everyday life, when you walk around, you can see and actually identify a lot of different sources of energy. And did you know they were split into 2 categories? The first one are the non-renewable energy sources like coal or oil or natural gas. They are limited, which means when they run out, you're not able to produce power anymore. The second type of energy is the renewable energy, like solar, for example, as we saw today, or like through wind or waves, and they are infinite on Earth. So that means they can always produce energy and power as much as we want. The advantage of solar energy, for example, is that you can use the power of the sun, which is limitless and so abundant that you can actually produce power at no cost. And it's so crucial that everybody on this earth has access to reliable, clean, and affordable energy. In 1 hour, the amount of power produced by the sun and striking the earth is more than we actually consume every year. So why don't we all go solar?